My apologies if this was addressed already. Did you speak at all to the socioeconomic status or ethnic breakdown of who virtual world users and how that might compare to gamers or to internet users?
I did not. We do have that data, but due to the time limitation, I didn't.
Could you give us some nuggets of that?
I've only been there for 3 weeks,
Right.
but we can talk afterwards.
Okay.
You have data related to educational games, what type of what is why it's not so much opportunity?
For educational games, specifically virtual worlds?
Yes.
There are 3 or 4 virtual worlds that focus on the education market. It's Y-Build. There's several out there. They're beginning to take notice, if you will. They're gaming sites. NASA has a couple of gaming sites. There's a few out there. But at the end of the day, they just haven't seen the kinds of hockey stick traction that some of the other segments have. And that's just a function of experimentation that's going on out there. There's a lot of new and innovative ways to keep the attention of particularly younger kids in these sites. And I would expect to see more traction in that space, particularly as education gets more attention. As these kids begin to wean off the TV, so to speak, and they're doing more immersive activities interactively on a broadband platform. Clearly, education is one of the concerns that's been raised a number of times by parents. So I would expect to see more going on in that menu.
So my question back to you is, how do you define educational games? I mean, especially for kids, a lot of these games you have on webcams and the other side, they are educational. I mean, although based on your definition, you probably don't think they are educational, but the puzzle games, the number games, and those kind of things, they do get their skills up to the next level. So they also depend. Yes, please.
That's an excellent question. We've looked at sort of the average lifespan of the user. They are transients, and this is a big challenge for the virtual world community. In fact, one of the standard questions we often ask the platform players, what do you do for an encore, given that you're going to lose a significant portion every year, and you have to sort of re-up that space to even say at parity with your run rate. So the question and challenge, and I think Abu addressed this, Thibault addressed this earlier, looking for what is that next site that they go on to after they move from point A to point B. They're only 13-year-olds for so long, and they need a migration path. It's a big unknown right now, quite frankly, and a big challenge to the industry to figure out how do we keep them, what's the life cycle of that user, and how do we maintain some tentacles to that particular individual.
Is there any breakup on the kind of microtransactions that are being done by users? Are they vanity-based goods or are they event-based?
Combination. It's really amazing how quickly the microtransaction business has sort of catapulted out there. It is for all sorts of items, virtual goods, services, subscriptions, whether it's small increments of time. There's trials going on where microtransactions are actually leasing virtual goods for a period of time. And so there's various mechanisms being activated out there right now.
And also, whether it's games or virtual worlds, it's part of the result of your design as well. I mean, if you design the game or virtual worlds that require more of the functional items, you probably end up selling more functional items. And if you design the game so the pets and the clothes are more important, then obviously you're going to buy a lot more sales there too. Last question.
Well, the only I mean, clearly Second Life has carved out the niche for the 18-plus market. There's a couple of others, but Second Life has really dominated the space, and to the extent that they've been successful is really a question mark at this juncture in terms of their lifespan of the typical users someone referenced. But there are more in development for that age category, and that gets to the transient nature of the audience as well. Will young kids who are migrating through various virtual worlds ultimately adopt new environments like a Second Life as they go through maturity phases. But we haven't done really any research. There hasn't been enough timeline to do that at this point.
Also, a lot of these kids' worlds really are very appealing to the mass market audience in that demographic. And then if you look at the worlds, I think K0 tracks the demographics for different worlds. If you look at the worlds that target an older demographics, a lot of them aren't that appealing yet. But as Barry said, a lot of the gaming companies, social networking companies, they're all adding virtual world elements. So eventually, as we have more content, especially more appealing content available, I think the growth in those demographics will happen as well.
I think we're out of time. We're on the button, and thank you very much for your attendance and participation.
Feel free to come up here and ask more questions, and I can teach you to lunch if you have one of those tickets.